Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Simone Monet and this is Halo Image and Energy Consulting, where we talk all about fashion, style, and the deep inner work that it takes to become your most authentic and magnetic self. So if you want to learn how to use what you got to get what you want, then just keep watching. We have a very timely video today as Miley Cyrus has just dropped a new album this past week. It's amazing, by the way, obviously, but it got me thinking about all the different iterations of Miley that we've seen over the years, and so I wanted to do a video on how we can take some lessons on self-expression and how to express all of your feminine flavors and what that can do to change your life and boost it up in a really amazing way. So we're going to be talking about that today. I know if you're even on this channel that you are a dynamic and intricate, unique woman that has a lot of different sides to her that she can share with the world at any given time. And there's one major reason why you should definitely be expressing all of your flavors to the world. So definitely stick around to the end of this video to find out what that reason is. And I bet you it's probably not what you think. But before we get started, be sure to like and subscribe so that other people can find this amazing content. And definitely check out the links in the description box. We've got some free downloadable self-study worksheets as well as links to all of my consulting packages. So yeah, check out down below. All right, let's talk Miley. So I don't know if you guys have given her new album, Endless Summer Vacation, a listen yet, but I mean, it's amazing. It's very much different from all of her other albums, of course, but it's just so like somber yet optimistic. It's upbeat, but like so real. I mean, I've always been a fan, and every time she just surprises us with something new. And I was thinking about that, and I was just like, wow, like we've seen so many different versions of Miley Cyrus over the last decade or so. And I think there's a lot to be said for all those transformations. I wanted to kind of do a little like psychological deep dive into her different personas and fashion styles over the last 10 years or so and kind of see what lessons we can glean from that about ourselves. I mean, I feel like we all have a lot of different flavors deep down, but we don't always show them, and there's a reason for that. So, yeah. So let's take a minute to kind of look through all of her eras, see what the vibes are, see what the fashion's like, see what sort of energy she's giving off to the world. And I think then after that, we can deep dive a little bit into how we can take some lessons from her leading the way in that way. So first, of course, we have Hannah Montana, duh, like that's where we were first introduced to Miley and her artistry. Of course, during that time, it was very light blonde hair. It was her being youthful and innocent and playful, and a lot of shiny, lightly colored fabrics. Just very light and playful and childlike. And honestly, like she had an entire like network pretty much running her life at that time for however long she was on that show. So it's just very, contained into a very specific persona and look. Hannah Montana. Next, we have the Can't Be Tamed Miley era, which was, I think, her first single after she was done being Hannah Montana. And, like, it's definitely like an FU to Disney Channel because, her hair is darker. The visuals for that video were, like, very dark, black. The outfits were leather. And, like, it was just very, I'm an adult now and I'm coming out and I'm not Hannah Montana anymore, which is totally, to be expected when you're going from such a bubblegum pop star like persona, like, and you're just trying to grow up and get out of that. You're going to swing to the exact opposite side of the spectrum, which is exactly what she did with Can't Be Tamed. So very wild, breaking the rules, being set free. I mean, the imagery in the video was even like bird in a cage being set free. So of course that makes sense. And then we have the infamous Bangers era. I mean, that album was wild. I honestly loved it. I still listen to it to this day. The vibe there was definitely like raunchy. I'm an adult woman. I'm doing what I want, when I want. I don't care what you have to say. It was very like sexual liberation. She's really letting that side of herself out in a big way. I think a lot of us have had that phase, like growing up, just kind of figuring out, what we want sexually or who we want to be, and just like experimenting. I felt like that was a huge experimentation phase for her creatively. And we all saw a lot of that play out. Some of it was good, some of it was bad, but she was fully expressing herself, and I think I can't be mad at that. As far as the fashions go, I mean, she hardly wore any clothes at all during this era, but when she did, there was obviously the iconic nude latex kind of two-piece, and then other than that, it was very colorful during this era, very loud, very like bombastic. She also cut her hair during this era for the first time, so again, another like big fu to the industry and to the people watching, and like just it ushered her into a different sort of category altogether. And then after that, I mean, there was like some other smaller eras, but another big one that I wanted to talk about was her kind of like rocker chick plastic hearts era. She did a lot of collaborations with like OG rock stars, and she was definitely a little more masculine during this time, darker than bangers, like a lot less color, a lot of um, chunky chain silver jewelry, like kind of just more heavy. She had a mullet during this time, so that was a statement in itself. She was definitely expressing herself in a bold, kind of a little more harsh, um, darker way. She always wore like a red lip during this time as well, a lot of the times, dark eye makeup. So I think she was just like, again, pivoting from over sexualized bangers, pretty like feminine, but like overly like wounded feminine energy, with the over sexualization. And then she pivoted back to a kind of more masculine, grungy, like rocker chick, with the Plastic Hearts era. I love that era. That album was so good. Um, One of the songs, Bad Karma, literally like one of the best songs ever. I love it. And of course, now we are up to the endless summer vacation. I can buy myself flowers era. I mean, right now she's just very simplistic. I don't know if you've seen her body lately, but her body is like on point. It is ridiculous. Lots of clean lines, neutrals, nothing too wild and crazy. Simple hair and makeup. Her hair has grown out a little bit at this point. It's like kind of like a wavy, effortless look. I love her in this type of styling. I mean, you can just see all of her features pop so well. Her body, it shows off itself so well. And these silhouettes that she's wearing, like long and lean and just gorgeous. And with the album, you can tell it's very much, she's in a more like somber, um, but optimistic, softer, reflective, like feminine energy at the moment. It very much has that feel of like after you've done a lot of partying, after you've done a lot of mistake making, maybe you've just gotten out of a bad relationship and you're just like in your own energy and you're recovering, you're healing, and you're looking towards the future. Very much that. And I love that. So many of us are in that phase. And it's something that we go through a lot as women with all of our ups and downs and things like that. So those are just a few of her incredible yet starkly different eras that she has showcased as an artist. And I just kind of wanted to point those out because I want you guys to understand that like within yourself, there are so many flavors that you can embody at any given time. There's so many different like facets to your personality and things that you can and should embrace. And I think, as society, we definitely as women get put into a very specific box of what you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to do it and like whatever. On this channel, we want you to discover and fully embrace like various sides of yourself at various points of time. And through that, you truly discover who you are and what you want. Like, how are you supposed to know what your authenticity is if you hide away parts of yourself? So yeah, that's Miley. And let's get into the reason why you need to express your different flavors. So after hearing about all these different flavors that Miley Cyrus has shown us over the years, like, what do you think about that? Like, do you relate to that at all? Like, do you feel like you have your own version of that that's like buried deep down? Of course, we're all about the inner work here on this channel at Halo Image and Energy Consulting. So, of course, I have a journal prompt for you guys. Definitely write down some thoughts about this. Like, I have two questions, and they are um, what are all the flavors within you, and why don't you show them? Okay, think about that, write it down. And then also, maybe like under each flavor, you could write a couple bullets about why you haven't expressed it yet. Are you afraid? Has someone made you feel like, being that way is bad or negative? Is it something, some experience you've been through? Write it out. Like, uncover what you have within you that you haven't shown the world and why you're hiding it. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys come up with. I know as women, we go through a lot of similar experiences together, so I'm sure other people would want to know about what you've been through and like why you feel like you're hiding certain things. And of course, the journal prompt is amazing, but if you want to go deeper, my 6-week intensive one-on-one consulting package is a great place to start. My clients love it. I mean, we really get deep and granular in terms of like the kind of woman you want to be and why you haven't done it yet. We talk about, of course, like fashion and style. We go into the color analysis and the closet edit. So that's part of that package as well. But we're also going to have like 6 different weeks of getting down to your limiting beliefs, figuring out what's holding you back, shattering those limiting beliefs, and then rebuilding your confidence and rebuilding those narratives in your mind so that you're able to be the most stylish, fashionable, confident, like, look at me, I'm here, I'm ready to show up type of woman that you want to be. This is about your vision for yourself, not something that I've created or your mom's created or your boss has created. This is about what you want to be. So yeah, definitely check that out. It's linked below. Okay, and now on to that number one reason why you need to express your different feminine flavors like ASAP. And that reason is the shadow self. The shadow is simply just the parts of ourselves that we have deemed to be unacceptable. That could be your angry side, your bitchy side, your sensitive side, your lazy side, your feminine side, even. It could be anything that you have kind of suppressed and stuffed down and hidden away from the rest of society because you think that it's wrong or bad or shameful in some kind of way. And I just want to make it like very clear that a lot of terrible things can begin to build up and fester when you continuously suppress parts of yourselves and they can't get out. They will show up in other ways, whether you like it or not. Like, your psyche will be heard out there in the world. And for example, this could be like someone that always suppresses their anger ends up being extremely passive aggressive to the people in their life and just having this like pent up aggression. Like, it's going to come out in a different way. And even for myself, like growing up in my household and my culture, like children were definitely meant to be seen and not heard. There's a lot of like silencing of opinions and, not really paying attention to the children's like needs. Well, not needs, but like their opinions and their voice. So over time, like I began to just like silence myself. I became very shy, super introverted, which obviously like I'm kind of introverted, but like not that much to be like this shy, meek person that never speaks. So I began to suppress my voice in anything that was loud or goofy or boisterous because I thought that that was bad. I thought that it was shameful. I thought that I would be punished if I, spoke out and used my voice. And so, yeah, the negative thing that happened that I just became extremely shy and insecure. It wasn't until I kind of looked at that stuff in the face, did some inner work, a lot of journaling, used a lot of the tools that I use in my programs, honestly, to rewrite that narrative around like using your voice, speaking up, having opinions, having desires. And now like I'm able to express myself in a bigger and better way. And receive more from life, receive more opportunities, meet better people, and just feel just more complete. And like I'm not hiding, I'm not shy, and all of that. So that's like one of my personal examples. Another interesting example of suppressing a shadow, one of my friends who I've known for a couple of years now, she's kind of told me about like how her mom was a beauty queen, like a full on, very successful beauty pageant person. And when she was telling me this, I could hear the disdain in her voice. I could hear like how much she hated the fact that like her mom was so into beauty and fashion. It's like, oh, this like beauty queen, and like she just hated it. And her mom was honestly like kind of a narcissist and like a little bit neglectful. So as a child, I think she kind of made this association with femininity, beauty, style, fashion, makeup, hair with like someone that's vain and narcissistic and a bad person. So now as an adult, she's like, I am drawing this conclusion, but I can see it all over her that she's kind of like, well, I don't want to be a vain person like that, always taking care, always doing stuff with my appearance and being so into myself and my hair and my makeup. Like, oh, I'm not going to be that person ever. Like, I don't want to be like my mom. And I find this really unfortunate because she's so beautiful, but she completely shuns anything that has to do with beauty, fashion, style, or femininity at all. And you don't want to miss out on things that life has to offer you because you're suppressing parts of yourself and you refuse to look at it. So, I want you guys to get comfortable looking at your shadows, discovering what they are, and getting curious about them, because, you never know what you could be missing out on because of what you haven't integrated in your life. And think about where Miley's career would be if she never decided to show those flavors. And think about where you could be 5 years from now if you fully decided to get authentic, integrate your shadows, and show the world who you are. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. I will see you in the next one. Bye.